What is financial freedom and is it really worth it? So, in this video, we're going to define what that is, some of the lies behind it, and some of the recent reflections that I've had personally about this idea, this construct of financial freedom. So, my mentor recently challenged me to really rigorously think about this idea of financial freedom and what it is that people think it is and what it is that people actually want. So, I think that in the world of entrepreneurship, people want this thing called financial freedom, which is a point where they no longer have to work, where they no longer have to do certain activities for money, right? Basically, who knows? They have like passive income or recurring revenue or income streams that come into their life that cover their lifestyle indefinitely until forever. So they don't have to necessarily do any more business stuff, right? They could go chill on the beach, they could go snowboarding, they could go traveling full time, they could just hang out with their family. So that's probably the idea, right? What it is, which really begs the question that I had for a long time, which is why do people continue working even when they don't need to? Like there are tons of multimillionaires and then of course billionaires who keep working even though they don't need to. So this question is loaded, at least for me. The idea of work and money and freedom and all these concepts that people talk about, I think are absolutely loaded because everybody's talking about a different thing. So let me kind of go into my opinion on this whole entire topic at this stage of my life. So currently, I'm choosing to view business as a game, right? Business is a game, okay? Now, the thing is, when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, I think there's two types. I think there's one that really is just about, value creation. That's like, I have a new idea and I really need to get it out into the world and I must create this, right? The guy with the startup, the guy with the idea, Spotify, right? PayPal, right? The people who just like have something that they just need to put into the world, like Uber. And then there's the other people kind of like me who just like want some freedom, right? Don't want to have a boss. I want to have location freedom. I want to work for myself. I want to not answer to anybody. I think these two are sort of the two camps of people who start out in this game we call business. And, for the people who want the freedom, so to speak, right? Location freedom, time freedom, all that stuff, just freedom from having to be constrained by, other people and rules that they don't want to abide by. It's very easy to get caught in the trap of, working until one day you don't have to, right? Working until one day you don't have to any longer, right? Because it's like, I just want to be free. I just want to do whatever I want. I just want to have passive income coming in so I can just wake up every day without an alarm clock and just do whatever the fuck I want that day. Except I think that most people don't actually have any idea what they would do when that day comes around. And personally, I've played out that thought experiment to that day and been a little bit like, I'd probably be bored to fucking death. I would probably hate it. Like when I wake up without an alarm and I don't have any structure and I don't have anything to do, I don't have any value to contribute, I don't have any people that depend on me, I don't have anything to give, I just exist in a vacuum. Like it's so lethargic and boring. And that's when I realized why people continue working even when they don't need to, because the game of business has a lot of other benefits, a slew that don't involve just money. So here's what I realized is that, business as a game, people see it as like a means to make money. But what I've realized is that, at least for me, given that I've created a business, a coaching business that's very aligned with who I am, what I like to do, and what I would kind of want to do even if I wasn't paid, basically there's all of these other benefits. For example, like creation, like creating value, creating a course out of thin air, right? I can put my own values just my own ideas just into the world. There's giving value, which obviously feels good. There's leaving an impact. There's meaning in the lives that I've transformed. There's, you get to play with tools, right? You get to play with AI, you get to play with video, you get to play with whatever and like create new things, which is fun. It's kind of like playing with Legos. You get to have fun with people, right? Your team members, coaches, mentors that help you grow. You get to change lives. You get to level yourself up, growth, right? When we stop growing, like when I don't grow, I feel awful. I don't feel good at all. Like I feel so static. I feel unsatisfied. My life loses all meaning. There's no reason to do anything. There's cool challenges to solve, right? Like what makes video games fun? Video games are fun because there's cool challenges to solve, right? If the video game was just, hey, hey, today in this video game, you get to do whatever you want and there's no bosses to beat, there's no animals to kill, there's no nothing to do, you just, hey, walk around, like it would be the worst game ever, right? And learning, like I love learning, I love reading, I love all these things, and these are the things that people continue desiring out of life even when money is no longer a problem in their life. Money solves your money problems. Beyond that, when your basic lifestyle needs are all covered, more than covered by the amount of money you make, anybody who has experimented with cutting all of this out of their life, I do believe, becomes extremely unsatisfied. There's no reason in their life. There's nothing to grow towards. There's nothing, unless the whole point of, I don't know, making passive income was then to somehow go be a professional snowboarder and try out for the Olympics or something. In which case, yes, you get all of these things potentially, and then you have money coming in from a different source, right? But that's not most people. And plus, if I don't know, there's got to be different ways to make money doing that snowboarding thing if that's really your thing, right? So if we look at the flip side of the coin, if you don't do business, let's just imagine that all of a sudden you start making 40K per month passive income and you're 35 years old and you just don't have to do business anymore. Like it just runs on autopilot, right? What are you going to be faced with? What's left in that vacuum? Well, the funny thing is I've actually been there before because I've worked at jobs where I didn't do anything. I just showed up, employer didn't ask me to do anything, and I didn't do anything. I got paid, I just didn't do anything. And I remember, so what I was faced with was lethargy. Oh, horrible feeling. Boredom. No challenges. No growth. Same every day. No direction. No contribution. This one feels awful. Also, no direction feels awful. Like, what's the point? I'm so lost. There's no reason. Unstimulating. Like, it's basically death. Okay? It's fucking awful. I've been at jobs where this was my reality and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. You could pay me $1 million a year at that job and I wouldn't do it. Well, depends, right? If I had to go to the office, then yeah, no. But if I could be remote and just take my million, then fine. But either way, this existence fucking sucks. Okay, nobody likes that. Okay, so the idea is that, okay, when you reach this mythical place of financial freedom, it just means that your money problems are solved. But it doesn't mean that your basic human needs are all going to be met if you just quit your business and all that. You're going to miss all of this stuff so much. If you don't believe it, try it. Try doing this for two weeks. Nothing, right? Just nothing. See how that feels, right? You stop growing, you stop learning, you stop challenging yourself. The thing is, people want meaningful goals to shoot for. So at this stage in my life, I'm actually looking for a larger purpose that's not just money, because money is like, I think, a intermediary achievement stage where you reach the point where you have enough money to just do kind of anything that you want. You always have your lifestyle needs taken care of. And beyond that, there's much more room for growth. I mean, I'm going to reach like financial freedom who knows, when I'm 35, I'm 29 right now, like 35, 40 maximum, I'll be fine, right? What do I do with the rest of my life? What do I want to create? What do I want to leave behind? What purpose, what cause do I want to serve on this planet to this humanity in that time? That's going to come down to all of this stuff, having a higher vision for what I want to create and leave behind on this earth, right? So, at this point, what I've realized is that I don't desire to stop playing the game. I desire to make the game as fun as possible, right? Because if I stop playing the game, like if the game just ends, it's like the end of a video game. It's very unsatisfying. It's not fun. Like, then what do? Like, you want to find the next game to play. You want to find the next challenges. So I don't want the game to end. I don't want the game to end. I want to make the game as fun as possible, right? So I'm going to find the game, the vehicle, the business that's as fun as possible for me, that gives me all of these things, which right now my coaching business certainly does. Eventually it'll give me more than enough money to do everything and anything I could ever want, and the game will still continue to be fun because I built it that way. And then what I'm realizing is that the point of the game is not to beat it, it's to play. The point of the game is not to beat the game. The point of the game is simply to play it. Right? That's why guys like Warren Buffett stay in it for so long, because he's not in it to just get the money and get out. He's in it because he loves the game. The game brings him all of these things, and the money is one of the great side effects. So me personally, I plan on staying in the game of value creation, leaving impact, doing meaningful things, growing, learning, challenging myself, changing lives. I plan on continuing to do all of this stuff for the rest of my life, really. And unless at some point I become physically or mentally incapable, I don't think I will ever reach a point where spiritually these things die out in me. I think that they're a core part of human nature, to be honest. I think everybody wants to do all of these things. Most people are probably just scared to pursue them because they require courage and taking risks. But all of this, why would I not want to continue doing these? I like doing these every single day. In my ideal day, I like creating something, putting out some kind of value, learning something, challenging my something, reflecting, right? Like every single day I'm going to do these things. And as a side effect of that, I'm going to make money, because that's all it is. Like if I put value into the world, people are going to reward me in the form of money. That's just how that exchange goes. Right? So if I continue doing the things that I love doing, all of these things, then I will continue being rewarded with money, and more and more and more, the better I play, the more years that I play. So there's really no chance that the money part doesn't take care of itself very early on here in the next few years, and then doesn't just exponentially explode from there. But what really matters is that I've constructed a game that I love playing and is fun for me, and that I want to continue playing for the rest of my life, which then makes it a very long-term game. My decisions become long-term. I'm not looking to exit this business or get out of it at some point. I'm just looking to have as much fun with it for as long as possible. So yeah, this is my sort of analysis and personal opinion on this idea of financial freedom, that it's not really a thing, that people want this mirage, but when they get there, they're actually going to experience all of this, and they're going to wish they had all of this, and then they get back into the game. So the whole point is to create the most fun game as possible right now, even before you've made the money, right, to where you can just live forever on it. Even before you've reached that point, make the game as fun as possible, because the point of the game is not to beat it. There is no beating it. The point of the game is simply to play.